Just want to share with you 3 ways that we're preparing beds in our food forest. This is our first planted food forest 2.5 years ago in this area that used to have olive trees only. So we have various polycultures around which are pretty much planted to fill this terrace. But in the meantime there are spaces and we're trying to prepare new beds. So there's one way that we do it with these compost piles. So we make a hot compost pile with a lot of charcoal and we flip the pile through an area. See, we started there and we move around here. We're going to keep following it between the trees. There's an olive tree and there's a polyculture behind. So we go around the olive tree and we'll go around to back here. And by the time that's been flipped all the way around, it shrinks and the whole load gets left on the floor. Then we'll put an electric fence around that whole area and we'll put a chicken tractor in there, and the chickens will just eat up any final weeds, smash up the compost further, and then we'll fill that with cabbages. So I want to try and use as much of this space as possible, and this terrace is very good for growing in the winter. So all of this compost and everything it's also going to help feed the trees as their roots grow. So we're not going to dig here at all. The idea is that the ground becomes a lot softer with this compost on top. So we just put in some cabbages this winter. And then another way of preparing a bed is for a more permanent bed. And so this is, here we've got sea buckthorn, a female and a male, growing, which are really to provide nitrogen for some of the trees behind us, with the guava with a groundnut growing up it and a lime. So the idea is, anyway, this new bed is got loads of compost and then loads of weeds that we pulled up from around here, cardboard and then wood chips. So this will be a row for us to plant some perennial vegetables, some more permanent bed there. And another method behind these grafted apple tree little nursery we have is just a plastic sheet. It's just easier, quicker when you don't have the time. It's not as good for the soil because it sort of cooks it up and kills any life in there, but it's just a small space. So the idea in the long term is these raspberries on the left we want to grow into a new space, so we'll let them grow into here. But in the short term we'll plant garlics here in November. So again, this is a nice space for growing in the winter. Any space we have up here we'll try and grow and just keep preparing beds like this. Hopefully this plastic sheet will kill all the weeds. So we'll put garlics here, a lot of mulch, and then over the next year or two that will be full of those raspberries, and also there's a ground cover of strawberries as well. So those are 3 ways in which we are preparing beds at the moment in this food forest.